Welcome. Melanie's joining me. We're going to cover a topic that comes up fairly routinely, not as much as a lot of the divorce ones, but how to handle if your child comes out or tells you they think they're bi or gay. And I want to break it up into not an adult and an adult.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, I want to start with the non-adults, the 10, 11.
They're still exploring at that age.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know. They might, but not necessarily.
Yeah. So
they're still exploring. That's the big thing.
yeah, and you haven't figured out a lot in
Right.
life at that point. But we're gonna have you tell me that, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna demonstrate what I think is an appropriate response.
Dad, I think I'm gay.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have dinner at 6. If you want to talk about it, let me know. I love you either way.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna throw you out of the house. I'm not gonna threaten you.
Right.
I'm not going to disown you, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, because what do teenagers do when a parent goes, oh no, you can't be gay?
I have never known a teenager that's not going to rebel in some way and push back, get angry. It's not...
It doesn't serve a purpose.
It's not constructive at all to
Right.
fight back on it, push back on it.
And there's really only 3 options. They're gay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're not.
They're not. They think they might be. They're unsure, but they just wanted to. And kids never do something to see if they get a reaction out of their
Never.
parents. No. So it doesn't really change anything. It's like, okay.
Did you say 3 options?
Yes.
Okay, what's the third?
The third option is, so they're gay, they're not, or they truly are uncertain, and they're being influenced by friends.
Right. It's a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many different influences. There's biology, there's, sociology, there's sexuality exists on a spectrum. It's exceedingly rare that someone's
Gender,
100% one or the other.
You got boys and girls, and who's to say you can't who you're going to like or love? And I don't
Right.
know that it should matter. Okay, I know someone in my family who LBGT pride, da 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 da, my first pride, and girls. Huh? Got a boyfriend now. I believe I even saw something, well, I guess I'm bi. And again, sometimes it depends on the individual, meeting
Some
the right
people don't
person.
figure that stuff out until they're in their 40s or 50s. So,
Yes.
it's a lifelong exploration. Nothing is set in stone, but don't tell them it's a phase.
Yeah, just say, okay.
Just
And I know somebody whose daughter, kind of did the I think I'm bi, and it was like, okay. It's like, it's really not an issue. Unless you make it an issue, which actually can cause more problems.
And if you have to process it, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people make it all about the person who's coming out, which it should be. However, you probably have some processing to do. And your feelings are valid and whatever, but you don't put that on them.
Yeah.
You go over here and you process it and you figure out how you're going to manage your emotions.
Now, let's talk about the adults.
Okay?
All right. I'll be the one coming out. Hey, Mom, I'm gay.
Cool. When do I get to meet him?
Now, here's the other kicker. A lot of times the people coming out somehow think their parents are clueless to the fact that their child is gay.
Right? I've known since you were 10 and you were telling me what shoes to wear.
Oh my God, yeah. It's hilarious, but the same kind of response. Okay. Now, again, you don't get upset. You don't tell them how they're wrong. And you don't disown them, kick them out of your house. We see this with one segment of society, the very religious. Become the world's biggest hypocritical assholes in disowning their own children
Yeah.
because of their preferences. Whether the Bible says it's right or wrong, in no way should you ever not love and disown your children.
Right.
That's never an option. If your child kills somebody, it doesn't mean you condone it, accept it, but you're still going to love them. And if my son got convicted of a crime and went to jail for 10 years, I'm not going to approve of whatever he did.
Mm-hmm.
But you know where I'm going to be on the day of his release?
You're going to be right there to
Right there to pick him up and go out to lunch. Because he's my son and I love him. And that's an unconditional love.
I had one of my children ask me if I would bail him out if he got in trouble, and I said, no, but I'll be there to support you, you know, emotionally and whatever. I'm not going to bail you out, though.
So, it doesn't matter the age. They're your children. You love them. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
And it is no different. It's just another relationship. Whether it is how you envisioned it.
What you wanted for them.
Yep.
Like, that's about you. And it's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about them.
So, don't react. It's kind of like the men's work. Don't react.
Don't react.
You can respond.
Respond, don't
Just
react.
be okay. Because let's say they are gay. Okay. Is any reaction from you going to change that? No.
And once you've shown acceptance, then it's okay to ask questions as long as they're not judgmental, designed to coerce some kind of other response out of them. It's okay to ask questions.
Parents never do that.
Once you have come to terms with your own emotions.
Yeah. A lot of times, I think some parents, it's I'm not going to have grandkids, da 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 da,
Yeah.
and so that impacts, which isn't necessarily true.
Yeah.
It just means it may be a different route.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I would think the majority of good parents would never treat an adopted child differently. If their children adopted a child, they wouldn't. I'd like to think they wouldn't treat a child of somebody they became married to or partnered to differently because they're not their biological. And there's always the extremes on both ends, but they're your children.
Yeah.
Just love them.
Chances are I will not have grandchildren of my own because my children have both expressed they have no interest in having kids. And
Guess they want money instead, huh?
I guess they want that dual income, no kids. But that doesn't mean I don't have the opportunity to have children in my life that are basically my grandkids.
Yep. And I've got a grandson, and my son just got engaged, so we can hope there's going to be more grandbabies there too. So they're your kids, love them. Doesn't matter whether they're straight, gay, bi, crooked. They're your kids. Love them. All right. If you have any questions and you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It's just a topic that comes up enough. Decided I wanted to address it, and I wanted to get the dual perspective
and a woman's perspective, because I do handle this a lot in my practice
all the time. If you've got this happening with a child and you want to talk to somebody, Melanie's contact information will be below. But really, just listen, rewatch the video, and you'll be like, oh, there's really nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, have a great week.